Just before we start here, I just first want to say thank you all so much for being here. Truly, you are the reason why this coalition is on the brink of making history in the city. Each and every one of you coming out day after day, and today we are on the brink of making history 2 days in advance by knocking the most doors in New York State history. I just want to say thank you. Because those 200,000 doors that we're on the verge of knocking today, that's the opportunity we have to make the case to New Yorkers. I know for many of us, we have lived and breathed this race every single day for more than a year, but there are still New Yorkers for whom these are the days when they make their decision. A friend of mine, Charlie, was at a Hell's Kitchen canvass a few days ago. He shared later that he met a voter who had yet to hear of our campaign, yet to hear of what was on the ballot this Tuesday. And so when you are knocking on those doors, when you are getting through 10 consecutive not homes, when you are walking up a 6th floor walk up and you're asking yourself, why am I doing this in the second hour of my shift? Remember that your hands, whether you use them to vote, whether you use them to knock, whether you use them to make phone calls, they are more powerful than any commercial, more powerful than any poll, more powerful than any prediction of what Tuesday will look like. And it's because of your hands that we're here on the brink of winning this race. So thank you. Thank you. That's not a conversation I'm willing to have. That's what separates me from my opponents in this race, is the fact that at the same time as Donald Trump is spending $300 million to remodel a ballroom, he is choosing to not spend the same amount of money that would fund SNAP benefits for 100,000 New Yorkers. These are the political choices we're seeing on offer. And we've seen Donald Trump make threat after threat. We've also seen him try to shape this race. He's been very clear that Andrew Cuomo is his preferred candidate. He's been very clear he would like to see a narrower race. It's been very clear that Eric Adams, in dropping out and then endorsing Andrew Cuomo, that many are listening to the president. And yet what we find is that all of that is still no match for what New Yorkers actually want. And that's what we'll see when I'm leading the city, that the will of New Yorkers will be the way that we actually deliver.
And if he tries sending ICE agents into the city or the National Guard, how does the Mamdani administration respond?
You know, I agree with Police Commissioner Tisch that we do not need the National Guard in New York City. So often the justification for the deployment of the Guard is the language of safety. Now, if it was safety and crime that President Trump was actually concerned about, he would send the National Guard to the top 8 out of 10 states with crime rates, but they're all run by Republicans, so he would never dare. This is, in fact, about intimidation. This is about trying to make us back off from what makes so many of us proud to be New Yorkers. I will not be the mayor that we have today who went on national television and opened the door to civil immigration enforcement. I will be the mayor that stands up for our sanctuary city policies, that stands up for every single New Yorker's right to live in this city, and a mayor who will hold everyone accountable to the law, no matter who they are. We are looking to do everything we can so that we do not ask ourselves after polls close, what if? What if we did more? What if we signed up for another shift? What if we called another friend? We want to answer that question in our actions over the next 48 hours. And so every single minute of the day, I am looking to speak to as many New Yorkers as possible. And that means New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs, and that means sometimes even in multiple languages. Because it's time that every New Yorker sees themselves in the politics of the city and sees their struggles, more importantly, in the policies of the city.
What would be the first thing go ahead, Rebecca. Sorry, what would be the first thing you would do as a mayor of New York if you win the race?
Well, the first thing will be the same as the last thing, to focus on the cost of living crisis. We are speaking about the wealthiest city in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, and 1 in 4 New Yorkers are living in poverty. That's what we have normalized here in this city. It's unacceptable. And so my focus, I delineated from the first day, freezing the rent for child care. The first order of business is starting to ensure that the Rent Guidelines Board is a board that actually acts upon the data it's being given, not the directive from the mayor to try and reward his donors.
Thank you guys. We're going to take a group picture right here. Okay.